Went for our first scan, which I went to alone, as partners weren't allowed to come at the time. And we found out that on the scan they could see that there was an abnormality, but they didn't know what it meant. It could have meant a few different things. But they sent us to the Heath, where I went, and also went to the appointments alone, and found out, well, I had to have a CVS, so it's a needle going into the placenta to get cells out to see, and we found out that Nancy has Down syndrome, which we were fine about and not a problem at all. We were quite relieved and quite happy when we got the news, which we got on the phone. But then, as they knew it was going to be a different kind of pregnancy, we had more scans and more checkups, all of which I attended alone. And pretty much every appointment I was offered a termination, and I was told, you know that this will probably be an issue, and this will probably, and all these, like, it was basically doom and gloom every single appointment. I know the doctors, they do have to give you a realistic expectation, but going through that on my own, and then coming home and feeling like my partner just didn't appreciate, he'd just sort of be like, oh yeah, but everything will be fine. But when you've just been told everything won't be fine, it's very hard. But because he'd missed the birth, and I had been really distressed like all the night before, because I'd had to have a monitor on all night because she was getting a bit stressed out. So the midwives that we had, they let him stay with us until we moved to another ward. So we did get to see him for a bit longer. But then we had to stay in for a week. So Scott had to go home and not see her. The lockdown, we haven't been able to do a lot of things that I would have expected to be doing. Like where I work, they do baby yoga, baby massage, and we had all sorts of different baby groups, toddler groups. And I was really looking forward to going to do things like that with her, because I worry about the stimulation that she's getting, especially with her having Down syndrome, that she's getting enough stimulation at this, important age where she's starting to notice things around her and really notice her environment.
I think one of the highlights for me was working from home during the later stages of my pregnancy, because we went into lockdown. So I found it was less stressful in general being at home. Even though I was working, I didn't have to get up really, really early to travel 40 minutes to work and then 40 minutes home. And so I felt in general I was more rested and therefore more relaxed. There was some anxiety about the possibility of giving birth on my own. It was nice that one midwife, because of the way the time of labour worked out and her shift, saw the birth from the start to the finish. I know that's not always possible, but that was a really positive thing for us. My husband was able to come in, which was obviously a positive. And I just felt there was less pressure after Gwen was born. I was given that time to be alone with her. There was no person coming round to do a hearing test. There was no one coming round, no bounty organisation to take photos or to offer merchandise. And I really enjoyed that aspect of this birth compared to the others. Postnatally, I've had less contact because of the pandemic less direct contact with midwives and health visitors. They have been on the end of the phone, but they haven't visited the house. I've enjoyed that, being a third-time parent, because it's given me more independence and it's allowed me the time just to get on with being a mother again. And obviously having the other two children, I'm kept busy with those. I would say for Gwen, she's missed out socially. She hasn't seen another baby her age. And I think that babies do need to see other babies. We're going to go and see my parents because they haven't met Gwen yet because of the various lockdowns that have happened. And obviously that's been very hard, both for us and also for them. We've done as much on FaceTime as we can, but it's not the same as holding her and seeing her and talking to her. As far as I'm aware, we don't have any plans. I don't know if there'll be any surprises on the day, but what I would love most is a lion.